Hi guys, thanks for joining me. This is a final reveal of the 176th Airfix Tiger 2 or King Tiger. You may recall my previous video where I basically extolled the virtues of constructing this, how easily it went together, and at that stage it was all constructed apart from putting the tracks on. Well, I have to say that the tracks themselves nearly resulted in this ending up in the bin. It was only because I didn't want to have posted another video of a project that I didn't complete that I continued with it. The tracks for this kit are the rubber band type, so you guys who work in braille scale and possibly the larger scales will understand the issues that the rubber band tracks present. Now I'll just give you a close-up of how Airfix expect you to fix these tracks together. Okay guys, so what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to get this section into there by passing it through there, yeah? Now this material isn't the same as the old rubber tracks. This is not as flexible. So as you can see, because these have been lopped off, that I abandoned that idea almost immediately. So that's you've got to try and get that into there and pull it through. And this kit forms one of their starter kits as well. You know, for younger modelers to have a go at. And why Airfix are still continuing with this type of track, I do not know. Another issue I had, you see the holes here where the dry sprocket teeth are supposed to fit in there. Well, I could not get the dry sprocket teeth to get in those holes for love nor money. So I'm going to basically describe what I did in order to overcome the issue with the tracks. Okay, so a bit of heresy going on here. As you can see, I chopped off the two ends of the track, and thankfully, because we've got the track guards here, it means that the track that runs along the top, you can't see it. So what I did was I shaved off the teeth on the dry sprocket and then super glued the track round there. Once that was dry, I was able to then super glue it to the running wheels, and then I super glued it to the idler wheel at the back. Sorry, it's going out of focus. Yep. Then I super glued it to the idler wheel at the back. And that's how I overcome the issue with the tracks. One of the other problems you have with the rubber band track is even if I'd managed to get that piece through that slot, you've then effectively got a rubber band that you've got to fit around there and around the idler wheel at the back, yeah? And you guys know as well as I do that what tends to happen, because it acts like an elastic band, it pulls at these 2 points. And so what can happen is it will pull the idler wheel or the drive sprocket out of alignment. One of the problems is that with the track teeth, you have to either slip those into there first and then slip them over the drive sprocket, and it's just an absolute nightmare. So that's why I resorted to basically not going down that road at all. So here she is. the camouflage, that was a bit of a nightmare, I have to confess. The initial green that I tried to use in combination with the brown didn't work. I was using Vallejo's medium olive, and in the end I resorted to using their US Army green, and the brown is chocolate brown. I think it's supposed to be slightly redder, it's supposed to be a camouflage red brown, but I hadn't got that. So it was given, the first coat was the green ochre, that went all over the tank. Then, as I say, I added the brown, then the green. Fortunately, there's no camo on the actual road wheels. So then I sealed all that with dull coat, let that dry for 12 hours, put the decals on, which are few, sealed those again with another coat of, not dull coat, clear coat. And then once that was dry, I made up my own pin wash or sludge wash with a black pastel chalk, some water and some washing up liquid, a few drops of washing up liquid. Put that on, and then basically once it was dry, got a wet or damp towel, kitchen towel, and just started wiping it off. Now, I can't remember who suggested using or creating my own panel wash. I don't know whether it was Ian Poulton or whether it was Martin. But anyway, it was another build I was doing. I think it was the Hawker Demon, and I was having problems with the wash. And I got an idea it was Ian who suggested just make my own. And I did, and it worked on this occasion. So the other things that were done to it, obviously the metal bits were picked out. I then did some highlighting of the edges in various colours. I also added some silver along the edges as well. Painted the tracks. Initially I did them flat earth. Then I used the Tamiya pastels that I've showed you before, and I got the steel off that, and then just rubbed them over the track teeth. The track tread at the front and the back. And then what I did was I used Norn oil from Games Workshop just to pick out the track detail, and the links along the length. And that worked quite well actually. I didn't actually notice the detail until after I put the Norn oil on, and then it was settling into the recesses really nice, and it picked it out really nice. So job complete. Another model that's been taken out of the stash and can now go on the shelf. I have to thank Andy McCormick for this. He bought me a while back now, got to be about 3 years I think. It was a dual set. There was this King Tiger, and then there was the 176 Cromwell. And I built the Cromwell a while back, and so this King Tiger was just up in the loft, waiting for me to pick it up someday. So I'm glad I've done this, and thanks again to Andy for the gift. If I was to choose between this 176 scale King Tiger from Airfix or the Revel 172nd scale Henschel Turret Tiger, I would go for the Revel one, because the tracks on that are Lincoln length, so much easier to fit. And I think the construction of it was just as good as the Airfix one, but I think I prefer Lincoln length track as opposed to these rubber bands. And I do hope Airfix move away from using them, especially when, as I've mentioned before, they're looking for young modelers to buy these kits. Anyway guys, I hope you liked the video. if you do and you like the work that I'm producing, then please subscribe. It does give me a bit of a boost. And thank you to those who have subscribed to my channel. I do appreciate it. Happy modelling, and I'll catch up with you soon.